Good morning, everyone. All righty. So yesterday turned out to be a big nothing. You know, the Fed, on almost 100%, they're going to do nothing. They did nothing. He did a lot of talking, which sound like, hey, we don't have to do any much of anything until we see something. Anyway, so, we've had some discussions in the room, and I was even brought up in MT Live yesterday. Someone was saying, you know what? I don't get this tight thing. What does that mean that it's getting tight? And things are relatively loose right now, but intraday they're getting tight, which suggests, sometimes we use the analogy that the spring is being wound. And that means something's going to happen. Right? Things are going to move one way or another. So, where's that moving around here? Get this thing here. So, you see this volatility, boom, 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 right? And so this is loose. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of craziness, a lot of volatility. And so this is getting all kind of crazy. And get rid of that mess. And we see this, pretty much in all the markets. And so now, over the last few days anyway, it's tightening up, where the bars are overlapping each other. And we look on the 65-minute and we see, this consolidation that's beginning. So, pointing that out, things are tightening up. The weekly charts, which way are they going to end? We got today and tomorrow to finish up. Just to a little review, we did get the risk off here several days ago, and then we had the gap down day, and things are stabilizing. So at this point, sentiment is coming off the extreme, breadth is coming off the extreme, so not giving us anything of new information. Daily time frame, how many days do we allow it to tighten? We don't allow anything, Robert. We're just observers here in the grand scheme of things. We know when the move starts when we see it. That's the bottom line. Our job is to just continue to observe. And, right now, just looking at this chart, it's nasty down day. It's trading inside. It's retraced relatively far into the red bar. And so and that's one of the reasons why we look at multiple markets to see if there's a confluence between them, or is one out of sync with the others, where we know the news that occurred about AI and the semiconductors, and they all got shellacked. It's created this big down move a few days ago, and now things are kind of like, okay, people are kind of analyzing that information as to, and so that's what creates the tightening. And so everybody's now, okay, was that just a fluke? Which sometimes you get these big down days and they get reversed, especially in a bull market. For example, look at this. I don't remember what brought things down like that. They were extended, so it made sense, but it didn't make sense that it came down in such a violent way. But then it begins tightening up. And you say, well, all those tails don't really suggest tightening up. But look, if you were to look at this on a closing basis, you see it just kind of went down and then it kind of comes up and it's doing nothing. And then, this is more of your signal right here, that bullish 180, because you get a range expansion of the bodies and that reversal. Whereas, right now it's like, I don't know which way this thing's going to go, but it is tightening up. So then we look at other markets, and we see the S&Ps similarly. You see the overlapping bodies, that big range expansion, and where that came up to resistance. We see the 65-minute doing a lot of nothing. The weekly chart is in a trading range. So things aren't moving right now, but they're beginning to tighten up, like they're going to get ready. And we look at other markets. Now we look at the Russell futures, and I want to look at the ETF. And this looks relatively normal to me. You know, here it broke down and we had the whipsaw and the deep move. And now it comes down to a typical area, kind of erratic. You know, if it looked like this at the end of the day, I would be thinking, hey, this thing's going to go higher. So as we look at the 65-minute, that looks pretty messy and loose, but kind of looks like it's going to try and go up toward those prior highs. 5-minute, had a little breakdown failure. So that means that buyers are lurking below. They're positive still on small caps, and that's a plus for the markets. And let's go look at the Dow, which is now down a little bit. So this was a weaker one, right? It broke down and it ripped higher. And look how it came back after that down day. And so this is tightening up. It's loose here, but, you know, one of the ways that we define loose is wide distances between pivot highs and pivot lows. And in a tightening up time, those things come together. So that's another visual way of recognizing things getting tighter, besides the candle bodies. But things are showing a little weakness here today. Whatever, maybe there's something in the Dow. Well, Microsoft's down this morning, right? That was down. So and then we have today's little lesson there. All right, so IWM, that is, it's gapping up toward that resistance. So it's really not attractive, but it's gapping above these highs. But what we want to see is just hold on to its gain. And if it can do that, it gives us a bias that it could break out. But we don't have anything strong yet to act on. Right? Mid caps. Oh, look okay. Pulling back. Looks like that little dot up there is where they're at. See on the 5-minute chart. So gapping up there into resistance, but improvement. Semiconductors still look pretty darn bad. All right. So other tech stocks need to pick up the slack, but Microsoft now is kind of a shot across the bow as far as tech goes. You don't have that, you know, one of the Magnificent Seven to hold things together. Semiconductors here are gapping up a little bit. You can see on the 65-minute, they got room to go higher. So maybe, if things look like they're going to move higher today for day trading purposes, maybe semiconductors. So you could I'll look at some semiconductor stocks, after the market opens. And while Dan's talking, to see those that are gapping up. Since this is opening up here, maybe it's got room to move up to the 50, give or take. So that's something I'll think about. These regional banks, Alex is letting me know TRA is down big on earnings, but the index is up. So something must be doing okay. Didn't mention transports yet. I'll get to that. Thank you for reminding me. I might have forgotten, Robert. Thank you. Thank you. This is tightening up. Where is this? Gapping up into the top of this range. So I don't know how, I know there was like 40 regional banks reporting this week. So far, this is just whippy. It's whippy, but on a closing basis, it's tightening up, like winding the spring. Yeah. So I was just telling me SMH is more NVIDIA weighting. Okay, so NVIDIA, you know, has been damaged severely, and that's not much of anything. So something else is moving up in the semiconductors. I don't know what that is. Maybe ARM or MRVL. Well, here we go. Well, that's gapping up. That's got room to run. That's ARM. That's one of my favorites when it's in favor. Maybe that could do something. Maybe, I'm just talking here. Maybe there's better things than semiconductors, but look at how this one's gapping up. I mean, this one, they love this one, institutions, but it's gapping up into those pivots, but maybe it could keep going, or if they pull back. So this one is one of the favorites, which technically, which means if you look at fundamentals, there must be something pretty good going on there. Marvel is a comic book. Ask Dan. He can tell you all about that. Anyway, we always joke. Yeah. All right. L LRCX. That's another favorite. And look at you can say, really, Greg, look at that thing. I think it's like crap. Well, it's bottoming out. Look at the monthly chart. Look, I know it's got a topping tail here. And we only got today and what is it, tomorrow left for trading, but it's on this minor support area, and on a closing basis, it's tightening up. But I know it got rejected there in part, probably because of that news. But this one tends to be a bit spready. So it's okay for swing trades. It's great for swing trades, but for day trades, probably not best thing. Um, all right. Um, Energy XLE. We talked about it pulling back to an area of support where buyers would show up, which leads us to crude oil. All right. It's pulled back a lot with, Trump's talk, but let's see what it does here. It's up a bit here, coming off of the 50 MA and that minor support. We'll see if that makes a turn. It's not doing that yet. I want to look at interest rates, which we discussed yesterday. Which way is it going to go? And so far, they're still moving down, which is good for the markets. It's on this support area here in the 50 MA. They keep moving down. That's a good thing. So we don't have anything really decisive yet. I'll take a quick look at bonds. And so this was Head and Shoulders bottom that we talked about yesterday is still intact. So nothing decisive here. Set an alert above these highs, set an alert below these lows, or you could do the same with the TBT or TLT if you're going to look at prices. So as we look at this, it's kind of like reading the tea leaves. What's this market going to do if there's a whippy, erratic price action that's tightening up? So we look at what is influencing this market, and there's a big focus on interest rates, right? So the Fed is now out of the way. They said what they're going to say. They didn't do anything. And so now the market will digest this, which means, everybody, and we'll wait to see which way these markets, bonds, interest rates, crude oil, so on and so forth, which direction they're going to take. So our transports. Yesterday I mentioned possible breakout bar failure. They did trade under, they moved up and they got rejected. They haven't traded under the wide range bar yet. So that's another thing to see. Does it break below these lows? So when we start what you find is as we start to look at more and more things, looking for clues as to what's going to happen, it means that things are indecisive and there's uncertainty. And so we're trying to figure out which way things are going to go. We could just set alerts above and below the current prices, but one thing may start moving before another. But as we look around at more and more things, we come to the conclusion that nobody knows what the hell's going on, right? The bond market doesn't know, right? Equities don't know. And, oil's been having bigger ranges and so on. So, all right, SPX, let's take a look at that. And you can see this big mess that's going on here with lots of gaps and whips up and down. And so prices are, where are they doing here? Give or take. They're still trading inside of yesterday's range, which traded inside of the range the day before that. All right. So things are kind of tightening up and everybody's kind of saying, these forces of supply and demand are beginning to come together. And so, we've still got, it came up into this area, but the gap isn't filled. And it's above the moving averages. Got an unfilled gap down here. So we're still dealing with a giant mess. And so things are where they are. I'll just peek here near the top of yesterday's range. We look at SPX. Look at what options there are. 59.80. Come up a little bit, which it should come up. And one of the things to look for is like that, there's many things to look for, but if the market is moving relatively small, do the option strikes from where they were the prior day move a lot? That would indicate a big bias in that direction. Whereas, the other day, like down here where they moved a lot and the strikes got so far away was when I said, this is just a no-brainer. It's never going to get there. Just how do I know that? I don't know anything for sure. But what I know historically is that when I see that, that's the result, which is the essence of technical analysis, right? When we see things from the past that consistently, relatively consistently do something, we believe it's going to happen again, right? So, and those that utilize things like Elliott wave and GANs and planetary alignments think that all of that stuff is going to lead them to something more accurate, which it's not. 6110. Interesting. So this comes down. The markets are up a little bit. This comes down, but yesterday was down. And so nothing of great significance in those movements of those strikes here. But is it going to get up here? I think not. And it would have to fill the gap to do that. Is there any news coming out today? Since I did not look to check my economic reports, and there was 8:30 numbers. 10 o'clock, this pending home sales. That's not a big deal. I don't think so. Well, they're highlighted. So, I mean, it could be. Why could it be? Well, go look at the home building stocks and see what they're doing and see if that makes any difference on interest rates. So, interest rates holding up here should help these beaten down home builders a little bit. We'll see what they do. All yours, Dan. Those on social media, if you learned something here or enjoyed some of that, hit that like button and share the channel.
Or if you like my jokes also, you can do it too.
Dan's jokes should come at a premium, but we don't charge for that.
Yep, just ask anyone in the room. So we got a bunch of earnings. We had so many, I went through and deleted a bunch just because I don't have time to go through them all. All right, let's see alarms here. SFM, we just had an up alarm go off. So let's move stop right here, 153.37. Let me do this real quick. We only have a third left. This was a fantastic continuation pattern. Sorry, just updating this on our subscribers on the spreadsheet. And I am done. But look, this, the beautiful, beautiful continuation pattern went sideways for 2 weeks and ignited. Actually, we bought this one. We bought this one, but they were both very tradable. So we're just in trail mode now. Fubo had a little up alarm. We did a partial lot yesterday. We can add over the high. Minter alarm. We're in trail mode. Nothing to do. IBM. This was the only earnings trade we did. Sold the naked 202s. And in retrospect, this was a very good pattern, inverse head and shoulder, that we should have considered a bull call debit spread as a directional, but didn't do it. Let's go to earnings now. Like I said, there's a lot of movers here. So when Microsoft was the first one to come out last night, And yeah, it's opening week. And so that actually drove the Qs down by $2. And then it got balanced out with some of these other ones. So are the Qs, up a little bit. So, it's just a mathematical fact. There's other 99 stocks in the NASDAQ 100 that have bigger gains than Microsoft's loss. It's pretty simple. Tesla was down originally, now 406. So yeah, you guys who shorted puts on that, that's working. Still no pattern though. If the market starts pulling in, I think this is a big topping pattern. I can go lower, 340, 350. But I don't see anything to do with it now. Meta, amazing this strength into earnings and this gap negated when we had that Monday disaster gap day. I wish it were gapping up more, like 700 or 710, and then we could do a 15-minute low call spread. Here, let's see. Greg has YouTube Stavros STLD. Nice forward higher. Yeah, it looks, yeah. And you got an end of day base. Yeah, that looks higher. Thomas Brothers. Yeah, we actually had this. I was watching this for the longest time, and when it broke down, I took it off my list. But sure, it looks fine. Wolf potential bottoming pattern. I have an alarm at 6:35. LRCX is up on earnings, $80, but there's no pattern. It's gapping to the gap fill. Space Sands, what I was saying, this thing is weak and couldn't bounce. That's very interesting volume yesterday. Pick up in volume into earnings. So, there were sellers and buyers, but the buyers didn't let it go down anymore. So they're getting paid with a big old gap up, but no pattern. 118 bullish gap, no pattern. And like I said, I already went through and deleted a bunch of these. 66 put spread idea. IBM we know about. Teak Tech. It's a bearish gap. I think I said yesterday if this opens flat, short the low. Because that's bearish, but it's too extended for me. Libitor was up, now down, no pattern. Levi, that was a bullish breakout bar. Now that's a 30-minute low day trade short, target 16. Teradyne, big old ugly gap. Ideally, it sells off somewhere, between 100 and 105. I would put that in a window. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things today. Capper wise. 1022, that's a monster gap. Ideally, it sells off another $50, gets it more cooked to more significant support. All right, Chai 63, big gap, no pattern. Whiskey Mike, bullish. Yeah, this one. I typed 15 minutes ago. I think what did I type? 30-minute high. That has a big old void. Yesterday we talked about reversal and continuation patterns, and obviously, we didn't spend too much time on, well, we we've done empty lives, just continuation patterns, obviously. So this is a continuation pattern with a shock value gapping over a red bar. So that looks great. XLY, just heard a bell go off. Yeah, I just sold some of mine pre-market at 233.70. 233.70 XLY. I bought this, what's today, Thursday? On Tuesday, I bought this along with our ETF letter, and I said you can add over yesterday's high. But that's a pretty good gap. So I took the money, I'll add on a pullback. RJF. Thanks, Robert. Well, we don't like the giveaway part. I mean, we do that because yes, we genuinely like teaching and helping people. We do, but it's also to show them how knowledgeable we are, and it's a sample for you to come into the green room and try our products, which will make you even smarter. All right, look at UPS here, middle chart. All right, Raymond James, it's up a lot, but it's bullish price action at all-time highs. Whirlpool, there's going to be no, that's a monster nasty gap. I said yesterday, I was looking for a call spread, but I think it didn't have any weeklies. INTA, 10-minute high. So 1, 2, 3. Nice 15-minute chart. INTA. I got UPS on the other chart. See, I didn't get through all these, which is why I went through. But INTA, I like 10-minute high. All right, SFM. I already moved the stop. Looks good. Carg alarm. I sold a put spread on this yesterday. Looks great. LYV alarm. We're in it. We're in trail mode. Let me move stop yesterday's low if I didn't already. 142.18. Wix alarm. 142.18. PDD alarm. P Diddy's company. P Diddy. And it's China stock. What did I say? Wix. All right, Wix. Okay, Wix. I would love for it to close like this, and then we can do a 1, 2, 3, 4 for tomorrow. TD alarm, continuation pattern, maybe 30-minute high. Bison alarm. That's turned into a dog. SNA alarm gapped up, came in. Let's see, what's our cost basis? This thing's kind of been a dead animal for us. SNA 353.85. So let's move stop break even on that now. SASR alarm. That must be an earnings one because I don't remember it. Ah, that's Alex. That's the one I said. 5-minute high. Gapping over a red bar. Void. Nice. Can't say I would have chased it, but nice job if you did. Diamonds, IWM are the strongest on the 5-minute chart. I still don't like this square top here on IWM. I like MDY better. And then I know, Alex, you gave us a levered one. Is it this one? Ah, DPST. Yeah. Regional banks. Yeah, I like it. About this. Let me set an alarm here. 7280 on Intel. All right, this IBM. You can either let it expire at full profit, or let's see if I can get a free put option. Wow, I can't. Wow, the 202.50s midpoint is still, well, you could bid a penny if you want. If you want to get out, you can bid a penny. All right, Intel. All right, I'm gonna bid a penny. Burkle. Gap negated. A bear gap that bullies on Intel. I mean on Burkle. Greg, what do you think of Intel here in light of the market and everything?
I have no idea what the market's going to do, other than, like I explained, I don't have to re-explain. I mean, I think it's just going to whip around here. So, I mean, something like that is kind of on its own page, so it looks good. And the intraday looks good. So,
All right, so let's buy high, stop Tuesday's low. Earnings 2-4 though. What day is 2-4? It's Tuesday after the bill. That's okay. We got 4 days.
transport's gapped down. That's not a plus. Yeah,
Well,
I'll put them up in a second. When I
yeah,
put mine up, people on social media can't, they see mine instead of Dan's, and Dan's the one talking, but I'll put them up in a few minutes.
yeah, because of UPS is why. Look at that nastiness. And then obviously check his cousin, FedEx, gap under base, so no pattern. SSNC. It's a grinder, and I don't like grinders when the market's questionable. Yeah, Brad, I posted that. I'll reset my alarm on TD. My alarm went off earlier today. I'll set it at 57.65. All right, lazy boy. Oh, forget lazy boy. How lazy it the gap's too big. Remember this morning I was hoping it was gapping just to yesterday's high. So the gap messed it up. Or Costco. Ah, shoot, I posted this last night to buy over the high. That was a beautiful, beautiful 1, 2, 3 close. VIX new.
Spiders look like they can go a bit higher here, getting a nice reversal on a 5 minute.
eh,
Spiders the best looking.
I mean, AD line is 1780 and tick is 900, VIX new low. So yeah, breadth is definitely very supportive here. GE long, yeah, that ain't my stuff. So
Oh,
Don, remember we had a long talk about how do you find M and W bottoms, and I'm like, we don't have a scan. But I said all Climos are candidates. So GE is a candidate now, but I have no friggin' clue what it's going to do up here. But it came out of a base which is strong. But if it gets up here and sputters, then you got a call spread candidate. Fubo, we did a half lot yesterday. Uh,
ROST in the short term. If it holds up here today, that's a favorite as far as retailers go. Ross stores, the 65 minute got room to go a bit. See what that does.
Into trigger, Mick, get your butt moving. Yeah, we're in at 08, Sam. We beat you. We did the 10-minute high. SMA. Oh, that's SMA alarm. SFM alarm. Let's just trail now. 156.28. You know what? I put an order out pre-market for that thing, Don. Let me see what it's doing. SMA is looking better. Oh, our SIL. Remember I did a put spread on SIL yesterday, Greg? Look at that cap breakout. I did a put spread, but check out silver stocks.
Yeah, I saw the silver here.
How it's therapy, looks like a bio. I like the 15 root. That's yeah, I got filled. Yeah, I did not get filled. Let me check the spreads. Yeah, it's spready, but possible. The midpoint now is 62, and my order is out at 70. All right, so I'll watch on a pullback and then check the midpoint again on the gap fill. Earl, yeah, there's an ignite. I mean, try to hate these overlapping bars, but I love if it closes like this. So you can do, partial lot, 30-minute high. And let me check put spread. The 285s. Let's go right to next week. 75 by 110. Not bad. But the problem is the midpoint, because the 280s are 0 by 60. Midpoint is 65. Why did we ain't gonna get filled? 280. I'm gonna send an order out 65. I'll tell you if I get filled. Yep, no fill. And I'll tell you if I do. Actually, I'll tell them to do it too. I would not do it here, Brent. Look at the 15-minute chart. There's not one iota of a reversal, but I like the way you think. We just have to wait for an intraday reversal. And I would only consider it because tomorrow's Friday. That thing is on a power train move right now.
Wouldn't they be expensive, Dan, since it's up like that?
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Oh, so but he's saying he wants to buy at the calls?
No, I'm assuming short him, right, Brent? I mean, I just assumed it. Right, Brent? Do you want to buy or short him? Look, Google's still a big old bull rectangle. Yeah, I just assumed short. But yeah, we got to wait for a reversal. If this can chop around, that's a massive bull rectangle. All right, I'm out of my IBM at a penny, so I'll go ahead and close that. And it's just, insurance policy that, you don't have a 9/11 overnight and it frees up buying power. That's the only reason. Otherwise, if you don't want to if you want to babysit it to make another penny, then have at it. But not me. Move on to the next trade. Microsoft bottom right. I think Pittsburgh bouncing off support. 1 DTE. Safe 415 or below. Q's spiders ripping here. Yeah, we could do, let's do the 412. 412, 407 is 46. 45. All right, let's do that. Golden Burl. APP. Yeah, gap breakout. Yeah. Yeah, I know we talked about it yesterday. I was hoping it would go sideways another day, but it's on my list. Looks good. Akamai is way too extended for me. eBay. Yeah, I would have to close like this to interest me for tomorrow. Ango, that's a bull rectangle. Look at the monthly breakout too. Yeah, Ango looks great. We're, watch a pullback. I'll put it here. Earnings 4.3. Let me check puts also, long and short. The 12.5 puts are 10 cents by 95. You friggin' idiots, man. So I'm gonna go low offer at 80 cents. But yeah, that's a very bull. And here's another bullish rectangle down here. That's amazing strength. Google alarm. Wow, that had been an old alarm of mine go off when we were, I think, looking at this other buying a directional over there, and then the gap down messed it up. A tiger up alarm, but still a dog. All right, our SIL, SIL, put spread. Midpoint is 20 cents. Yeah, bid 10 cents. But I doubt we'll get out because they're monthlies. Bitcoin ripping up at 106. Now, hey, there's a reversal on major support for 1 DTE. Greg, Mexico just triggered. There's no weeklies on Teradyne. You are a bad boy. No, it did not trigger. That was a no, never mind, Mac. I thought this was Mexico. It's not. Root, all right, came in. I'm gonna change my order on root to 65. I'll tell you if I get filled. No, no fill. I'll tell you if I do. KNRC, GoDaddy. Yeah, GoDaddy, yep, looks fantastic. You can even do, you know, so many of these things. Yeah, they're fantastic patterns. But it would sure help if the broader market dailies look better. But yeah, this looks fantastic. Let me do, I would love to do a 1 DTE on this, even the 210s. 0 by 35. We can do the 207s for next week. 207, 202 is 67. 207 is right near the opening price. I like that. Right, it's 67, but it's spready. We ain't gonna get it. Let's try 65. No fill. That order is out there. Yeah, I'm behind. I've posted 3 credit spreads. So I have to make them pretty. I'm behind. Yeah, shoot, our cost gap and go. Open 970.30. If you're in it, sell a third. UPS at the low, no bounce. Accused of retracement. You know, I have no idea, but we could be on the tail end of this euphoria. All right, filled on GoDaddy. And something else. Let me see. Filled orders. And filled on Burrow. Okay, and Microsoft. So I can post these. Use, yeah, we're slicing some lows here. And that CMG went. That was the 1, 2, 3 we were talking about yesterday. Yeah, that's how we got filled. Look at this now. Remember I said I'd love it to go to 950. There's no bounce on the 15. UPS new low. That Teradyne worked. I was trying to give us the put spread, but they have no weeklies. That's what did I tell you? I got Tesla on my short watch. I gave it up. Down on route, I'm going back to 70-cent limit just because of the market coming in. Not filled at 65. Uh, well, I don't, well, two things, Alex. Number one, we never know for sure how much it gapped down on Tesla. Number two, I think there is some relevance because Tesla's been talking about doing these competitive um, products. So that's not like that's not like Kroger gapping down on Tesla. Wow, look at the volume on UPS in 36 minutes. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Well, IBM kept it going. Look at that friggin' move. Can you imagine, Alex, if we had the 235 long calls? Man, oh man, oh man. That would have been like a 25 bagger or whatever. I'm guessing 20, whatever. Yep, that's nasty. Oh, I forgot to, I wanted to grab a screenshot of this. Let me do it right now. I was gonna make a, an educational